everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to another episode of 10 p.m. University. So today I'm going to talk about 5 ways to save your sinking business. So I got this suggestion or advice, you can say, from one of my friend who runs a company in Tel Aviv as well. So he been through a lot of ups and downs in his company. He it was a startup like a few years ago, so now it's quite established. So he gave me 5 points that he told me that if in future if you're going to start a company, and for whatever reason if you are going through a stage where you think you're gonna lose your business, then you need to think about the 5 points which I'm gonna share with you. I hope it will help you in one or another way. Okay, cool. The point number one is talk to your customer, right? I mean, this is one of the biggest mistakes most of the companies do. They assume that your customer loves them for whatever reason, right? We become so overconfident at one point in time, right? You think, oh, your product is great, so customer will come to you anyways, right? Why should we care? In today's world, right, where you have a lot of competition out there, the profit is really not going to make much of a difference to a customer, right? Your price margin, in other words, right? Let's say your product is selling for $100, and your competition is selling the similar product for like $110. So if that if that company, right, the guy who runs the company, if he or she decides to give exceptional customer service to a customer than your company is offering, then obviously customer will go to them, right? So it's very important. You need to talk to your customer to say, look, hey, I understand that you were not happy with our service. Could you suggest the reason behind it? Could you suggest something which we can do to improve? I understand at times you might think customers are mean, they're very demanding. Hey, but think about from their perspective. Like, let's say you're paying $100,000 for a service, and if you're not getting a good service, what a company promises to give you at first place, you'll be extremely annoyed, right? You might be thinking, look, it's my hard-earned money, and why the heck they're not giving me the service? They don't answer my call, they don't respond to my email, they're pretty slow, they don't understand what I'm talking about. You will extremely get annoyed, right? And you will say, look, I don't want to deal with these people. I might as well go somewhere else, right? So you need to talk to your customer. It's very important, right? So this is one of the advice my friend gave me. If you're in a situation where you think your business is going down, the number one reason is that you're not talking to your customer. You assume things that, okay, customer likes us or customer don't like us. Or please pick up a phone and dial your customer or ask your team to do that and figure out what is it that you're doing wrong, right? It just may be a matter of a phone call that can change your business. So point number two, trust your employees. Most of the time, right, your employees, they knows your business very well, right? Doesn't matter a person is a janitor, it doesn't matter the person is a developer. If that person has spent enough time in the company, right, that person can suggest to you the pain points, that could suggest you the weaker section in your company that you can work on to improve. It's always good to trust your employee. Just because the person is janitor, you can't say, he doesn't know much about it. That's not the case. You will be surprised to know the janitor can come up with a great suggestion that might can do a lot of good to your business. You need to talk to your employees. You need to put faith in your employees. If you don't trust your employees, then why do you hire them in the first place, right? I mean, I would prefer to have an employer who trusts me, right? I mean, because that's where you bring the best out of your employees. When employees realize that their employer trusts them, that makes a lot of difference to them, right? It's not only always about the money. Trust me, it's not always about the money. It's about the faith and trust you put in your employees. And if an employee comes up with an idea and if an employee rejects it, that person will say, look, the person doesn't care. Why should I give a damn? If a company's shutting down, fine, I'll go somewhere else. So would you like to have that kind of attitude in the company? I hope not. So please learn to trust your employees. Their suggestion can make a lot of difference. This is one of the advice my friend gave me. He said that, I mean, he got like 100 employees working for him. He said that he makes sure that every suggestion counts. I mean, it's not necessary that you have to apply every suggestion you get, but at least you can acknowledge it, right? To saying, look, okay, cool, thank you for your suggestion, we'll see what we can do, right? So it makes a lot of difference, trust me on that. Point number three, analyze the damage, right? So you need to sit and analyze, what's the level of damage? How deep is it, right? At times, is it really worth saving your business at first place? You know, there might be a case where your business is reached to a point where you might think, it's not even worth investing time and energy to save it because it's completely gone. So you need to analyze it, and you need to, figure out with your team what is that you're doing wrong, what is it you can do. It's like doing a damage control, right? You need to sit back and see, you look at the pictures, the broken glasses, can you fix it? There are, if it's broken to the point that you can't repair it by any means, then it's no point saving it, right? But if you think that you can save it for whatever reason, then please stick with that belief and work for it to save it, right? So it's up to you to figure out, what's the damage looks like, right? I mean, no one can suggest, because you are the owner of the business, right? You understand your business very well. You understand the business model very well. You know where the damage is, right? You understand that, what needs to be done to, to protect your business, to protect your asset, to protect your business, right? So you need to sit with your team and understand the damage control. That's why my point number 2 is very important. You need to learn to trust your employees. It's very important, right? Cool. Point number 4, which is my favorite. Look at your marketing strategy. Are you marketing your stuff in the right way? You might have a great product, but if your marketing team is not doing the job, then you need to work with them to see what is it that you need to do to change your strategy, right? Perhaps you're not marketing in every social networking platform. Perhaps you're not marketing in the right platform. Perhaps you're not reaching out enough to your customer. Perhaps you need to do cold calling. If you have to do it, you have to do it, right? There's nothing to be ashamed of. You're here to sell. You're here to market your product. You are here to give an experience to someone to use your product. So you need to come up with a plan, right? It doesn't matter. You don't have to feel ashamed, right? Oh, the people might get offended. You are here to sell a product. Look at Amazon, right? In the early days, look at Microsoft, how Bill Gates used to sell Windows. Look at Steve Jobs, right? How he used to, organize the conferences, right? You need to do whatever it takes to do. You need to, get rid of your marketing team, bring a new one. You might have to do it. You have to do it, right? We are not here to do charity. We are here to protect our business, right? So at times you have to make tough call. At times you have to, at times your marketing team is doing an amazing job, right? But sometimes they might have not explored a certain area. Perhaps sit with them and say, look, is there something we can do to improve, right? You need to talk with your team and to figure out, is there anything you can do? Perhaps you might have missed out certain area of segment of marketing, right? You can work on it. There are a lot of things you can do, right? So this is one of the things I just wanted to share with you. The last point, look at your expenses, right? This is very common problem most of the businesses who are sinking have among them, right? So what happens is that you start a business, right? You start a startup company, you hire people, things are going well, you started throwing parties, you started taking them to Vegas, you started taking them to Hawaii, you started taking them to, whatever places. Right? And all of a sudden you reach to a point where everything is hitting a snag, right? Where you tend to realize that things are not going well, right? So sit with your accountant, sit with your team to see whether is it really worth spending money to take your team to Vegas, right? Or is it important to save your business in the first place, right? At times you might have to ask your team to work extra hours, Unfortunately, that's the reality. When you're doing a business, you have to, let your team work out, instead of, you should be paying them an extra, money for the extra hours they work rather than taking them to, Iceland or Vegas or whatever, right? Because that's an unwanted cost. Yeah, it's great, to make people feel great when your business is booming, when it's doing amazing. But when it's in a sinking stage, then I think these kind of things should be avoided. It's no brainer there, right? And if you are still thinking, oh, what my employees feel, look, you're not there for charity. You're to run a business. At times, if you're a CEO, if you're an owner, you have to make a tough call, right? You wanted to save your business, you have to make a tough call. I mean, if I run a company, I'd rather spend that money paying people more than taking them for holidays, you know. That's what my opinion. At least you are paying the right people the right amount of money, right? So that you can hire the right talent. So you need to look at your expense. If it needs to be saved, you need to save the right place, right? Where you need to spend in the right place, right? Doesn't mean that you have to be stingy at every place where you needs to spend, you're not spending it. That's not a good strategy, right? You need to think about it, right? So these are the 5 points I shared with you. This is something my friend has shared with me. So he's going through it. So he runs I believe $150-200 million business, right? So 100 people he employs. They're into kind of a food industry. So he told me, right, so if you want it to be 100 million or 2 million or even $1 billion business, you need to follow the basics, right? Business can go, it can go broke. It doesn't matter if you're $1 billion company, you can go broke. Look at COVID, right? Who would have predicted? The businesses are going broke, some businesses are shutting down, which is an unfortunate reality, right? As much as it's painful for me to talk about it, it's a reality, the people going through it, right? You dream about starting a company, things are going well, boom, COVID hits your business, you're out of business. It's a painful thing, right? And it hurts people, right? It destroys people, it destroys emotionally. Sometimes people get sick physically because thinking, that's the only source of income they're making using business. They have families to support. So, I'm trying my best to bring out suggestions, hope it might, I'm not saying that it will do wonders, but at least, I'm, just like a drop of water in the ocean. That's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm doing my share to help as much as I can. All right, now that's being said, I hope you find some value of today's session. Greetings and adios from New Zealand. Take care and stay safe.